Hello, I'm Lucrecia.
Hi, I'm Matt, and we are L&M Fitness. Welcome to our first video blog. You can find our blog site right there.
So today we want to talk about cardiovascular exercises. When we say cardiovascular, we are referring to our heart, our arteries, and our veins. To start, here are some of the benefits that you will obtain from doing cardiovascular exercise. You will improve our cholesterol and triglyceride levels. You will improve your VO2 max. A great one is weight loss, fat loss, more energy, and most importantly, heart health.
Starting a cardiovascular exercise program is pretty easy, but you definitely want to start at your doctor's office. He or she will be able to make sure your heart is ready to start a cardiovascular exercise program like this. Once you have actually seen your doctor and they've cleared you to start, what you'll want to know is, what is your target heart rate? To find your target heart rate, we have to first find your max heart rate. And to estimate this, it's as simple as just taking the number 220 and subtracting your age. So a 20-year-old person would subtract 20 from 220 and get 200. From here, your target heart rate would be between 65 and 75% of that estimated maximum. What you do to get that is you multiply the number you got. So in the case I gave as an example, you multiply 200 times 65% and 200 times 75%, and then you get a good range for what your target heart rate is going to be.
The easiest way to keep track is with some sort of heart rate monitor. There are several types of heart rate monitors out there. You can find Fitbit, an Apple Watch, Polar are some of the ones that you can also use.
Another great way to monitor your exertion level is called perceived exertion. This is simply figuring out how you feel while you work out. You should be at a point of where you're starting to feel uncomfortable and starting to breathe a little bit heavier. A talk test is a great way of monitoring that. You can carry on a conversation, taking brief breaks to catch your breath every couple of sentences. You're at a good level there. If you can carry on a normal conversation with no need to catch your breath, you're too low. If you can't finish a sentence without taking a breath, or you can't even get a few words out, then you're working way too hard.
All right, now the real question, how much should you do each day? Well, think about it more in terms of the full week. The goal is 2.5 hours per week, and you can spread this out over 5 days. That's about 30 minutes per day for 5 days of moderate intensity exercise. If it gets to a point where it's not enough of a challenge, then there are different ways that you can progress.
You can add another day, so instead of 5 days, do 6 days, still 30 minutes each day. Add time every other day or every day, instead of 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes each day. Increase the intensity, faster pace, hills, sand, whatever you'd like to do there. Or adopt new programs. There's lots of different types of cardiovascular exercise.
Should we demonstrate?
We should.
Let's demonstrate.
All right.
Okay, here what you're seeing is one version of a treadmill. It's got lots of different buttons that you can play with. Some will have just a quick start function. On one side you can increase the speed or decrease the speed, increase incline to progress that the way that Matt was talking about earlier, or decrease the intensity. On this section right here you have different programs that you can set so that the treadmill increases its intensity on its own. There's always a safety feature that you can connect to your body in case you are walking or running and you are reaching the end of the treadmill, you get distracted, and it pulls it so that the machine stops and you're safe. And then this is another way that you can track your heart rate while you are exercising, as you hold on to these handles and your heart rate will show up on the screen. This will tell you whether you're working at a good intensity or whether you should pick it up a notch or perhaps drop it down a little bit.
Go.
When you are starting a treadmill, you want to stand on the sides off of the belt. This will keep you in a safe position in case the machine decides to start all crazy. It's also better for the machine itself, that way you don't add extra wear or affect how the belt works. So you're standing on the side, you want to go ahead and hit the quick start. Usually counts down to when the belt is going to start. Some machines do that, some don't, so just be prepared for that. It's nice and slow underneath me, so now you just gently step on. And then as you get more comfortable, you usually want to start with a nice warm-up before you start progressing into a faster pace and working on getting that heart rate up.
Okay, with the bike, this bike happens to be a recumbent bike, but there's other different types of bike. This one happens to be Stairmaster. This one, you are the power, so for me to show you the screen, I have to start pedaling a little bit. And from here I can do several different things. I can select my workout. I can do a manual, a fat burner, aerobic training, speed interval, whatever I'd like to do. I can also do a quick start, and I can set all these different things. On this one in particular, if I were to choose one of the programs, it would ask me information about my weight and age and things like that, so it can really help me through my workout and give me more accurate results about who I am. So this bike, as I mentioned, is a recumbent bike. All bikes will have a seat adjustment. The upright bikes will be able to adjust the seat for your comfort. This one has the handle right here between my legs where I can adjust. The main thing you want to look for is when the bike is fully extended, your knee is slightly bent, not pulling you off of the seat, slightly bent, and you don't want to be obviously hitting yourself with this. Once you're pedaling, you can obviously set this to whatever setting you want. Just relax and go ahead and ride. You can use the heart rate monitors here on the side to help you monitor where your heart rate is throughout. So if you have an injury, you want to check with your doctor, make sure what you're doing is okay, check with your physical therapist, make sure you're progressing well, and don't overdo it when your physical therapist says this is as far as you should go. If you're dealing with chronic pain, there's lots and lots of ways to continue your cardiovascular exercise, but listen to your pain.
So one way that you can get a good cardiovascular exercise with pain is if you have pain in your legs, you can use an arm bike to go ahead and get that same cardio that you would on the recumbent bike that we showed you, but you're using your arms. And if you have arm pain, then of course you can use the ideas that we gave you in the video prior. However, the most important thing to follow is that a good successful exercise program is if you could do what you did today, tomorrow, and Wednesday and Thursday, you're on a wonderful track. However, if you did too much one day and the next day you're in too much pain, then you might want to modify or pace it out a little bit more so that you can be more successful in obtaining more cardiovascular endurance over time.
So I mentioned there are many types of cardiovascular exercise. You don't have to be inside of a gym. It can be pretty boring. People like to get outside and do things. There's hiking. Hiking is a great way of exercising, and with many different apps you can find on your phone, you can find all the hiking trails that are in your area, and they will tell you if it's a moderate intensity, high intensity hike. It'll give you all that information on there. Hiking is a great way to be out there in nature and doing it. Swimming, you can do it swimming in a pool. Some people find that very, very boring. So there's lake swimming, river swimming, be careful. Ocean swimming, be careful. But there's all kinds of ways of changing your cardiovascular exercise.
And some more ideas. My favorite is dancing. That's a wonderful way to pick up your cardiovascular heart rate to a level that's healthier. So don't always think of cardiovascular as treadmills, pre-core, bike. Those are wonderful ways, but think outside the box as well. Dancing is a fabulous way. I'll go ahead and provide a link to our dance channel that we also have. And HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. And what that is you can set a timer for a quick warm-up, about 3 to 5 minute warm-up. And then you are working out at a higher intensity level for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then right after that interval, you switch it to a lower intensity for about 15 to 30 seconds as well. And then you repeat that for between 8 and 10 times with a cool down after. So there's different ways to do your cardiovascular exercise. It's just finding the way that works best for you.
That's all for today. So make sure you check back often. We'll have plenty of things to discuss.
Thanks for tuning in. We welcome questions and suggestions for future videos.